Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming for Medical Qigong practice number 2. Today, we're going to review the Reach for Happiness exercise, as well as add in Bend for Health. Okay, just checking. Let's go ahead and work on our warm-ups. We're going to open up to the left. I'm going to try to mirror you. The first thing we're going to do is make sure that our feet are parallel. Remember, once again, we don't want the toes pointing out. That closes off the channels in the back, and we don't want the toes pointing in because that closes off the channels in the front. We want our feet about hip width, shoulder width apart. And then we're just going to settle into the space. The tip of the tongue is touching the roof of the mouth. We're going to breathe in and out through the nose. And then with our hand in a loose fist, we're going to open up the left side of the body by tapping with the right. So I'm going to try to mirror you. We're starting out at the lower dantian, that's 3 to 4 finger breaths beneath the belly button. And then we're going to work our way up the midline of the body. So as we're tapping, we're opening up those channels, instigating qi and blood flow. And then also starting to harmonize our thoughts, our mind's eye, with the area that we're tapping. So if you start thinking about laundry or dishes, just bring it back to the breath. Bring it back to the tapping. We're coming down the outside of the arm. Sometimes you may want to spend extra time tapping on those joints. We're not tapping so hard that we're causing any type of discomfort or pain. We're just trying to get that blood and qi flow going. To the palm. Up the inner aspect of the arm. Coming back to the very top of the shoulder. Slowing down. And then wiping out anything you don't need or want, letting it go back into the earth. Okay. Settling back into the space, we're going to open up now the left side of the body, right side of the body using the left hand. Starting once again about 3 to 4 finger breaths beneath the belly button. Taking that same pathway just in the opposite direction. So we're coming up the midline. To underneath the clavicle. Underneath the arm. Down the side of the ribs. Allowing the mind to relax into the breath and into the movement. And then wiping out anything we don't need or want. Letting it go back into the earth. So we've opened up the upper half of the body. Now we get to open up the channels in the lower half of the body. We're going to widen our stance just a bit and tap the inner thigh and then up at the hip crease. Still breathing in and out through the nose. Allowing our breath to encompass as much of the torso as you can, comfortably. You don't want to be forcing the breath at all. And then we're going to transition starting from the hip, down the inner aspect of the legs, towards just above the ankle or wherever it's comfortable for you. Before then working our way to the lateral aspect of the legs, the outside of the legs. Come back on up towards the hips and the glutes. I'm going to turn around. Go ahead and slide that left foot closer to the right, maintaining hip width, shoulder width distance. And then continuing on up to the low back, just underneath the rib cage. We're waking up the kidneys, waking up that kidney energy. Before then placing the palms at the low back, circling down the sides and up the spine. Resting the palms at the low back. You're going to go ahead and close the eyes. And as you close the eyes and inhale through the nose, you're going to be guiding that breath and the chi to the low back, allowing it to fill up with energy. And then as you exhale, allowing that energy to flow to wherever it's needed within the body. Inhaling, guiding the breath and the chi to the low back, allowing it to fill up with energy. Exhaling, allowing the body and mind to rest and relax. Two more breaths at your own pace. And then when you're ready, gently opening the eyes, letting the arms come back down to the sides and closing, bringing that left foot back to the right. Okay, so remember yesterday we did Reach for Happiness. We're going to do that again. It's the lung and large intestine exercise from the Golden 8. It's one of my favorite series. I'm going to go over the mechanics and then go over the breath, and then we will combine the two. So sweeping the arms out to the sides, gathering in front of the torso, and then guiding the hands down to the lower dantian. The palms are facing up. And then we're guiding the chi up to the breastbone, flipping the palms over to face the earth, intertwining the fingers, and then guiding the hands up above the head. If it's comfortable for you, go ahead and come up onto your toes or hanging out here for just a moment. And then we're releasing the hands and sweeping them out to the sides, letting them come back down. The arms sweep out to the sides, Gathering in front of the breastbone. Palms are communicating with the heart and the lungs. We're guiding the hands down to the lower dantian. The palms are up. We're guiding the chi up to the breastbone. Palms facing the earth, intertwining. And then gaze following the backs of the hands, reaching all the way up into the sky before releasing, coming back to the earth. With the breath, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling all the way up, coming up onto your toes if you wish, you don't have to. Exhaling, inhaling again, and then exhaling as we come back down to the earth. Inhaling, gathering the chi. Exhaling down. Inhaling up and exhaling. Inhaling all the way up. Exhaling. In and out. Remember, the tip of the tongue is touching the roof of the mouth, and we're inhaling and exhaling through the nose as we go through this exercise. Exhaling. In and out. Inhaling and exhaling. In and out. 2 more times at your own pace, meaning you're working with the breath informing the movement following and encompassing the breath. You can move a little faster or a little slower. Whatever works best for you. And once you've completed your second exercise, go ahead and close, bringing that left foot back to the right. So that was reach for happiness for the lungs and large intestines. Now we're going to work on bend for health, which is for the kidney and the urinary bladder. And I wanted to work on this exercise today because in traditional Chinese medical theory, the kidney energy, the kidney qi, grasps the lung qi as you breathe in. So in order to get a nice full breath, we like to develop the kidney qi to help with that grasping feature. So we're going to open up, once again, hip width, shoulder width apart, feet are parallel. The mechanics are we're sweeping the arms out to the side, but this time we're encircling the lower dantian. We bring the hands back to just underneath the rib cage or wherever it's comfortable for you. So if this feels too much on your shoulders, you can go ahead and lower the hands. And then from here, we're going to open up the throat, open up the chest, lean back. And then we're going to fall forward. Now here, it's relatively important to keep the legs straight. Okay, the knees are not locked, but the legs are straight. And the second thing is only go as far as it feels good to you. So if you wake up in the morning and your back's not quite so happy, and this is as far as you can go, that's fine. Remember, Qigong is made up of the mind intent, the breath, and the exercise. And the mind intent and the breath are actually the most important elements of medical Qigong. So we lean forward with a relatively flat back as far as is comfortable for us. Relaxing the head, relaxing the neck, and then rolling back on up, stacking one vertebra on top of the next, before then unfurling, once again, opening up the throat, the chest, maybe the tummy, releasing the hands, reaching up into the sky, and then falling forward however it feels comfortable to you. We're going to take our middle fingers, our pericardium channel, and we're going to aim it towards about a third of the way up the foot, between the second and the third toes, okay? We hang out there for a moment. And then we come back up to standing. So let's do that a few more times. We're gathering around the lower dantian, relaxing the shoulders, placing the palms at the low back, opening up the throat and the chest, and then falling forward. Rolling back on up, opening the throat and the chest one more time, releasing the hands, reaching high into the sky before then falling forward. Now, if you are fairly bendy, or if your friend who you're teaching to is fairly bendy, you can also take your thumbs and wrap them around the instep, relaxing into the fold, into the forward fold, and then slowly coming back on up. Let's add in the breath. Inhaling, gathering around the lower dantian. Exhaling into the lower back, into the kidneys. Inhaling, opening the throat and the chest. Exhaling as we fall forward. Inhaling all the way up. Releasing the hands, exhaling forward to however it feels good to you. Try to relax the neck and the head. We take an extra inhale here. And then exhale. And then inhale all the way back up to standing. A few more times. Inhaling. And then exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling all the way up. Releasing and exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling all the way back up to standing. These of setting for your body, for your low back, neck, shoulders, please modify. We're supposed to be opening up the channels and promoting free flow of qi and blood. And when you're in pain,
That's
Inhaling and exhaling. In and out. Inhaling and exhaling. In and out. Inhaling back to standing. And closing. All right, what I'd like us to do now is to do about 3 of Reach for Happiness and then about 3 of Bend for Health. Opening up. Feet are parallel, about hip width, shoulder width apart. A little wider is okay. Settling into the space. Inhaling and exhaling. In and out. Inhaling and exhaling. In and out. And closing. Bend for health. Inhaling. Exhaling into the kidneys. In and out. Inhaling and exhaling. In and out. Inhaling back to standing. And closing. For our closing today, we want to keep the feet together or as close together as you can, because once again, we want to retain all that good chi that we've been cultivating over the past 30 minutes or so. We're going to bring our hands together, rubbing our palms, transferring a little bit of that chi into the palms, creating some warmth if we can. And then traditionally, guys place their left hand first on the lower dantian and then right hand on top. Women, traditionally, it's right and then left. I'm not going to mirror you for this last bit. We're going to draw circles on the abdomen, circling up the right, down the left. Remember, I'm not mirroring you. About 9 times. We're gathering that chi into the lower dantian, and then we're switching direction up the left and down the right, also 9 times. We're starting to condense that energy. Bringing it, guiding it to the lower dantian. And once you've done 9 circles each direction, resting the palms at the lower dantian, closing the eyes. And then as you inhale through the nose, guiding the breath and the chi to the lower dantian, allowing it to fill up with all that energy. And then exhaling, allowing that energy to settle and store so that you may use it throughout the rest of your day. Inhaling, guiding that breath and the chi to the lower dantian. Exhaling, allowing the body and mind to rest and relax. Taking 3 more breaths at your own pace. Allowing the chi to settle, allowing the mind to settle, allowing the body to relax. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all so very, very much.
Hey, thanks, Mary Frances. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I just want to say a few things before everyone goes. I really appreciate we're all able to practice this together. We're going to continue doing this every day at 8:30 a.m. while we're all stuck at home. I think this is a really constructive use of our time and a great way to start the day. So I do hope to continue seeing everyone. Remember that Qigong isn't something that you just do, once in a while. This is something you need to practice so that you can get stronger and more well-versed in all these movements. The other thing that you want to know is that, like what Mary Frances is saying, mind, breath, and form. So those are 3 important things in Qigong. The form, the movements are very easy to do. You can learn that pretty quickly. The mind takes time. So these exercises are meditations. And the mind is like a muscle. So the more you practice these exercises, the easier they become, and the more quiet your mind becomes. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask any of us. You can put it in chat as well. But afterwards, feel free to contact us. These videos are going to be made available online. I am going to send a link. We already have the one from yesterday ready to go. So if you do have other things and you can't make a certain day, don't worry. You'll be able to catch up that way. And the last thing I want to talk about before you guys go is just washing hands. That is so important right now to do, but you know, you can't just do it just a little bit. So you do have to do it for 20 seconds because we want to wash your hands. And it's the rubbing action partly that's really helpful. And you know, this virus doesn't take a lot to kill it. You really just need a very mild detergent, like a really simple hand soap is totally fine. You don't need to bleach your hands or nuke your hands or anything like that, okay? You don't even need antibacterial soap. You really just need a simple soap and wash your hands and wash regularly. So 20 seconds basically allows you to lather up, and you want to make sure to get all parts of your hands, not just the fingertips, but you want to get the whole hand. You want to get between the fingers. And you probably want to, if you have nails of any kind, you probably want to trim them so that they don't get stuck under your nails. So try to keep your nails trimmed and clean so that when you're washing, the rubbing action is what's going to get that virus off your hands. And the other thing that you want to do is when you dry your hands, I don't recommend using like a reusable towel at this time because a towel is just going to hold everything. You want to use a paper towel if you can, so that's another part of it is that when you wipe it with the towel, it's gonna transfer all of that gunk onto the towel and you throw that away. If you put it on a reusable hand towel, it's just gonna be stuck in there, and the next time you use it to wipe, some of that's gonna transfer right back to your hand as well. Yeah, I get it's very hard to get paper towels at this time. So if you don't have that, it may be better just to hand dry, again, as opposed to putting it on a towel that's been hanging there for hours or days. So just definitely be careful about that. We don't really need, hand sanitizer is really helpful when you're out and about and you don't have access to a sink. But hand sanitizer still leaves, even though it's a dead virus, a deactivated virus, it just leaves it on your hands. So you don't need to use that when you're at home and when you have access to a sink or soap. So that's just a little tip for the day. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. It's good to see everybody. I'm going to just transfer this to a community chat if anyone wants to talk or ask any questions.